Everybody, it's JP from Big Sexy Beast, and I received an air compressor from this company. Gobege is the way that I'm going to pronounce it, Gobege, and we're going to test it out. We're in the high country of Colorado. We're about 11,200 feet, so thin air, and we actually received, I'll put some video in a minute, the first snowfall in the U.S. To happen this year happened here a couple of nights ago, and it's been cold and rainy ever since. I'm with a buddy on an elk trip. So let's let some air out of a tire and test this thing out. Let's see where we're at right now to start. I think we're at about 50 pounds in the back. So we'll come down and then back up. Yeah, we're just under 50 pounds here, so let's take it down quite a bit, and then we'll time this thing, see how long it takes to air back up. That's pretty flat. We're at 10 psi. I think that's probably as low as we want to go. Let's unpack this air compressor and see what it looks like. It's a pretty decent case. Nothing too special, but everything you need here. As you can tell, this is the first time I'm opening this up. What do we have here? We have an air hose. We have the compressor itself. Hooks directly to the battery. Some instructions and like some attachments for airing up soccer balls, stuff like that. And that's pretty well what's in the case. And interestingly, it has a gauge on the hose. So we'll test that out and compare it to my one Ashcroft gauge, just kind of high-end gauge that I have here, and see how the two compare pressure-wise. Pretty decent hose. Let's see how it compares to the length of the van. I actually kind of like this hose because it doesn't coil back up on you. That's actually kind of a nice touch. It's just a touch longer than the van. So that's 20, I'm guessing that's a 25-foot hose. Alright, let's take a close-up look at this thing here. It says Gobege heavy duty air compressor. 12 volt to 13.8, max air pressure 150 psi, amperage 45 amps, serious current draw, airflow 180 liters a minute. It's a pretty fast stuff. Oh, this is also in the, I think that's for refilling your soccer ball. I didn't bring a soccer ball to the high country, so we won't be doing that. So, looks like this will just attach, quick release style, right there. Again, we're at 10 psi, we're going to go back up to 50. This is about a 34-inch tire, 275/70 R17. Just to give you a sense of the volume of the tire. And this guy threads on. Kind of nice that it threads on, and I also kind of wish that it was quick release. This says on the gauge that it is 10 psi. So get a close up maybe of the gauge there. It's got plastic over it right now is the reason that it looks. But it shows 10 psi, which is the same as my other gauge. So let's start a timer and we'll run some air. Alright, let's start the timer.
pressure let-off valve right there, it looks like. Yeah, it's definitely starting to air back up already. We're 1 minute. Gauge shows 25 psi. Part of that though because the compressor's running, and when the compressor's running, the gauge shows higher. 1 minute 30 seconds, we're showing 30 psi. 2 minutes. Still setting at 30 psi. We are at 11,200 feet, so don't know exactly how that affects the air compressor, but 2 minutes 30 seconds, and we are almost at 35 psi. Three minutes, and we're definitely at 35 psi. Visually, you can already tell that the tires come up. 3 minutes 30 seconds, we're at 40 psi. 4 minutes, 40 psi. 5 minutes, we are still setting at 45 psi. 5 minutes 30 seconds, just under 50 psi. When we get to 50 psi, we'll turn off the compressor. I think this gauge is going to go down when we turn off the compressor, because that's typically what I experience. Alright, we just hit 6 minutes. If you want to show a close-up on the gauge here, we're just getting to 50 psi. Let me turn the compressor off and let's see where we're at. Still showing 50 psi. Let's compare it to our other one here. Get it off of that leaking a bunch of air out. We might have lost a pound or two. $50 psi right on the button. Let's go check out the compressor and see if it's hot. It's warm to the touch, but it's not hot. As you can see, I can hold my hand on it, which is pretty impressive, because I've got another compressor that's similar to this, and it gets so hot you can't really put your hand on it. So that it's not too bad. So we went on about a 34-inch tire. We went from 10 psi up to 50 psi. It took us 6 minutes. So that's pretty respectable. Compressor is not overly hot. It is a lot of current draw. Is the reason I've got the engine running. I do like the hose. That's one thing that I actually really like about this hose, is that it's not one of the curly hoses and kind of recurls itself. And so that makes doing something like this a little easier to work with than having to deal with it getting all knotted up. So in short, the Gobege heavy duty air compressor did its job, did what it was supposed to do, and I'd like to thank them for sending it to me and let me try it out, and I'm sure I'll do some more videos on it in the future. Thanks everybody for coming along. Pop your questions below and I'll try to answer them.